Are you looking for salespeople? Are you looking for the best salespeople? The good news is they are available. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what to do to hire and find the best salespeople. Just in case you've been confused in the past and you're wondering, what do I do? Where do I start from? I don't know how to find salespeople. I'm going to walk you through in this video. My name is Iyore. I've trained over 24,000 salespeople across 5 countries: Nigeria, Ghana, USA, UAE, Rwanda. I'm an author of several books and resources on sales, and I've been featured on lots of media platforms to talk about successful selling. I worked at an organization where I was given a target to sell to 20 high net worth individuals, and I was able to bring in 21 high net worth individuals in a single month. I also participated in a sales competition where I won, and I was sent for the World Cup for an all-expense paid trip. I moved to another organization where I was able to double my portfolio by over 100% in just 11 months. Right now, I'm the CEO for UltraVantage, and our specialty is in sales force management. This means that we work with organizations to optimize the performance of their sales teams. We work with their sales teams so that they can meet their budgets and exceed their sales targets. So I'm going to show you what we've done to be able to find the best salespeople, some of the tactics we've used to sort and sieve and get the best salespeople in the industries to be able to work with our clients. I want to walk you through a few of them right now. Now, just a few thoughts before I go in. Let's make it clear. It's not enough to just hire the best salespeople, right? Because a lot of times, the environment affects performance. There's a story of a shark. They say if you leave a shark in an aquarium, a small-sized aquarium, it won't grow beyond the size of the aquarium, no matter how long the shark is there. Whereas if you take this animal and you push it into the sea, within a short time, it will grow to its maximum size. So the point is that the environment affects how this animal behaves or lives. And you know that that's how we are as humans as well. If you get a novice, I remember sitting in front of she comes to mind right now. I won't forget this lady who was interviewing for a sales role. She was wearing a all black top, black blouse, shirt, black pants, dark in complexion. And I remember we were trying to ask her questions. The organization I was representing at the recruitment, they had a limited budget for the sales role. Now, in that video, I'm going to show you about how to set pricing for sales recruitment or for salespeople, or salaries rather for salespeople. They had a limited budget for the sales role, and you could tell that she was being paid more where she was. And all I could see was the fact that this was somebody who, when she joined her organization, she was a novice. And in a short time, she had become a superstar, such that we were so eager to hire her. Now, the environment is key. Your culture, the culture in your organization, how things work. Who is leading your sales team? What are the standard operating procedures in your sales team? Do those things exist? If those things don't exist, even if you hire the best salespeople, they will not be able to function at their best. And when I'm telling you about cultural systems, I'm not talking to you about just resources, right? I'm not saying make sure they have laptops, they have phones, they have pool cards, which is necessary, which is important. Those tools, those resources are necessary. We'll probably do another video on how to set up your team in terms of resources. That's very important. However, what I'm talking about now is the daily operational system of your sales team. If you get a novice into your team and you have an effective operational system, they know what they do on Mondays, Tuesdays, all the way to Fridays. They know what they do by 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m. They know what they do at every point in time. You have a regimented system like that for your sales team. Even if a novice comes in, the person will thrive. I've seen people who didn't know anything about sales. But the moment they came into this organization, there was already a system. Thank God we're working with the company. We already set a system in place. Anybody that came in, there was already a steady onboarding. We have a sales academy. They'll get to our sales academy. They'll take our courses in record time. They already understand the sales concepts. They'll join us for the sales meetings. We listen to how they're engaging their clients. We help them make adjustments to how they are engaging prospects going forward. Before long, they're not even dressing properly. They start to wear 3-piece suits. Then you just see them transform because of the system you have put in place in the organization. Now, if you hire experienced salespeople and you bring them in and you don't come into that kind of system, ladies and gentlemen, I've seen it happen too many times. They don't do well. They don't do well. So the whole idea of telling you to hire the best salespeople is definitely, which is better? Do I want to hire somebody who claims to be a salesperson but has bad attitude? You know, we say in hiring that we hire for attitude, we train for skill. Now, if somebody comes in and has a bad attitude, and this bad attitude, you're trying to get somebody with a bad attitude to follow your laid down system and processes, the person won't follow. The person will be questioning your processes. Person will be questioning them and will be making others in the system start to doubt the processes. Questions weaken convictions. They will start to doubt the reasons why they're doing what they're doing. They will start to say things like, it's not working, bringing bad blood into the organization. So this kind of hiring check, this kind of hiring steps will help you sieve out those bad people so that you can find the good ones. Because truly, there are bad guys out there when it comes to salespeople. So number one, when you have your interview, I've said to you before, okay, no, let me know if I've said to you before. When you have your interview, make sure the recruitment environment is in order. The ambience of the place. The place shouldn't be dirty. The place doesn't have to look like a 5-star hotel. But let it be clean, air conditioned. The chairs should be okay. The table properly cleaned. Everywhere swept. Don't underestimate the importance of this thing I'm telling you right now. The second thing, because see, if you bring the best salesperson, you have to make the environment look good enough, worthy for this salesperson to want to work with you. It is not a bullying interview where you're trying to say you need the job more than we need you. No, we need them more than they need us when you find the best salespeople. Another thing you want to also do is that make sure that everybody who is interviewing dresses properly. If there's any day that anybody will dress well, let it be to this day that everybody will dress well. Insist. Everybody hair, made up, nails, whatever it is you have to do, present yourself the best way possible. Because the best salespeople, they like to hang around the best personalities. So set the environment right so that they can come in and do well. So number one, personal appearance. Check for their personal appearance. Anybody who is best salesperson will dress well. They will dress well. And I'm not talking about, see, when I tell you about the best salespeople, I'm talking about people who they have the work ethic. They have the drive to go after a target. And they are willing to do what it takes to be able to bring in business month in, month out. So check for appearance. I know that there are times when you have, once in a while, you have somebody who just stands out and the person doesn't dress so well. Yeah, the person can deliver. I remember we were recruiting somebody for an interview. During an interview session, this guy came in for the interview. He had some rings on his hand. He folded the sleeves. He wore a tie, but he just wore a shirt and his pants. And you could tell that I was wondering, is this guy coming for an interview, or he just finished eating lunch and he passed by here? Apparently, by the time we were done interviewing him, based on his background, I could tell why he was dressed the way he was dressed. He probably had not been taught. He had never been exposed to the kind of information to let him see why he should dress corporately and dress professionally. He was just doing his best based on his information, based on his knowledge, because we had asked questions and we had listened to him. Because we observed that this guy had a lot of contacts, he had a lot of people he could reach out to. He had some high-profile individuals. And from our questions, you could tell that he had interacted with these people. We even went as far as asking him, can you call one of them now? To test, and he actually got on the phone with one of them and he dialed the number, and this person put on speakerphone and he spoke to the person, and we felt, this guy has the contacts. He knows he has people he can reach out to. We could then help him with the dressing, and you could tell that he was willing to learn. But that's like once in a while. I don't see that all the time. But for most times, when somebody doesn't dress well at the interview, ladies and gentlemen, please don't make this mistake I've made before. I've had salespeople before who didn't dress well at all. And I just thought, don't worry, we'll show them how to dress. It's difficult. It's difficult to show people how to dress because you keep on, let's not go down that road because you don't want to experience that distraction of just appearance. We've not talked about how to pitch, what to say, where to prospect, how to cold call or anything. Just appearance is a problem. You want to have that struggle. There is something about somebody who can lead himself. The person who can lead himself can lead others. So you want to make sure that your people, when they come for interviews, they should show that this interview is important to them. They should show that, we always, whenever we're under pressure, we tend to go to our default states. Some people's default states is what you want to see. Why do we ask for multiple interviews? We want to see your default state. Your default state could be your lowest and times when you're laid back. I remember I got on the phone with them. I was going for an interview. This was many years ago. And I won't forget this phone call I had. I got a call while I was in my previous organization, and they told me that, there's an interview today. Will you be able to stop by? And I felt, okay, why not? I can stop by. I said, but are you well dressed? My response said, I'm always well dressed. So I didn't even know it was there for the interview before I left my house. But the way I dressed that day, I was ready when they called for the interview. So you want to sales people like that who are always ready based on their appearance. People in sales, people judge you based on how you look before they hear what you have to say. When you dress properly, it affects your confidence. It affects how they will be able to engage prospects, how they can recall information and be able to close effectively. Remember, don't take this dressing lightly. Because see, if you're not comfortable with them because of how they dress, don't think that when they resume, eventually, it would work. No. Insist. And thank God, if they don't dress well the first interview, at least by the second and third interview, you'll be able to check and see how well they can dress. And if you know that by the second and third, you still see signs that this person is making up this dress, this person doesn't dress well naturally, then please, it may not be an option for you. Number 2, can I just share this story before I go on? I remember, just to show you how the best salespeople, dressing and the best salespeople come together. I walked into this organization, this real estate company. The MD, high-profile luxury individual in this country. When I got in, he says, Iyore, my salespeople are struggling. They're not selling. They're not following up. I don't see the work ethic. I don't see the drive. I need you to come and help me ginger these guys. While he was talking, a guy walked in. And when I saw this guy, I felt like, this guy is not properly dressed. It's not clean at all. He's not well dressed. So while he was talking to the MD, he wanted to make an inquiry on something. The MD said, why are you dressed like this? See your beard. See your shoe. See, you can't even wear a tie. Why are you dressed like this? I was talking to him like that in front of me. He said, sorry, sir. Apparently, by the time we started, by the time we walked into this organization and started working with the salespeople, I noticed that because this guy saw that I was always dressing well, everybody on my team was always dressing properly. And he felt, is this guy trying to take my job? He actually felt like we were trying to take his job. And I said, no, I'm not here taking anybody's job. Do you know that he had adjusted? By the next week, I had seen that I had got to get new suits. Now, if a guy has new suits, you will know now. Because sometimes they forget to release the pins at the back of the jackets. So you could tell that he had adjusted because he felt this is the standard and how things should be. And before long, his sales started to come in and started to do better. So dressing is key. Number 2, look for ego. Look for ego. You don't want someone you want someone who, it requires ego to walk up to somebody. I remember the story of one of our sales guys who talked about how he learned that he was in a restaurant. He learned that one of the popular musicians in this country was in the restaurant opposite him. And told me the story of how he walked into that restaurant and got into a conversation with this celebrity. It takes some level of ego to do that. Now, I'm not talking about pride. I don't want you to be ego to be so much that he can't work with others. But you want the person to be able to believe that, hey, I'm a superstar. Are you a superstar, Mr.? Madam, are you a superstar? You want the person to be able to say, yes, I believe I am. Yes, I am. So not somebody who sounds false humility. Yes, it is well. I will do it. By the grace of God, we will do well. No, you don't want someone. When people say by the grace of God, they don't really mean the real grace of God. They're not trying to say, I will do what I can do. Help come to me. You don't want that kind of attitude. You want some ego. Number 3, have multiple interviews. Have multiple interviews. Now, what's going to be the content of multiple interviews? Number 1, the first interview can be a talk. Ask questions. Listen as much as you can. Let them express themselves. Look out for body language. Look out for attitude. How do they answer questions? Sometimes the same question, you want to ask the question 3 or 4 times in another way. Because some people, I've seen cases where you ask a candidate 3 or 4 questions. The same question but another way. The person says, like I said, sir, that's not what you're looking for, that kind of attitude. But I just mentioned, but I just gave you the answer to what I do. But I answered that in my last question. You don't want that kind of attitude. So make sure that you run through your questions, let them answer, and you watch for body language. You watch for signals. It will come, you would know when that attitude starts to show up. The second thing, next interview, you want to test for product knowledge. Possibly when they come in, give them your flyers and tell them, you're going to write an exam about how you can answer. Let me see how you can recall this information. You can tell them, okay, I want you to call these 5 numbers. I want you to see how you engage them. Those 5 numbers can be numbers of people within your company or staff. Just to see how they cold call, how they can get a meeting. Just test and just feel them, feel their confidence. Feel it to know if this person is the kind of person that should work with you or not. For some of our clients, we do what we call a sales skills audit. right? Maybe I'll drop a link for the sales skills audit today. If you need a sales skill audit to be able to use for your teams or for your recruitment, you can ask me, Iyore, I need a sales skill audit. Send me the link. I'll send you the link in the comment section. You can take them through an audit for the second interview just to see how they can answer scenario-based sales questions. The third thing you want to also look at is in the third interview, then you can have them meeting with somebody senior, maybe like the MD or the owner of the organization. Just make sure that you run them through a series of interviews and be sure that these people are the best fit to work with you. And I would always encourage, if you can make the meeting with the MD the fourth interview, that will be better. You see, you must hire slowly. Hire slowly because you don't want to get this thing wrong. If you get it wrong, to fire quickly is the problem. The rule says hire fast, hire slowly, fire quickly. But when it's time to fire, it can be a challenge. Based on HR policies, based on labor law, you want to be careful. So take your time and get this thing right. And that's why you want to make sure that you hire a large number of people. Don't say things like, Iyore, I want a team of 3. Then you only hire 3 people. No. It's better you hire 10 people. And I'm not exaggerating. It's better you hire 10 people. And you say to yourself, within the next XYZ period, I want to look out for the best 3 or best 5. So that when people are resigning, you don't ever get to 0. If people are resigning for any reason, you can always make sure you still have your core people who can work with you. The next point, I said have multiple interviews. Next point, ask for their vision and goals. Because you need ambitious salespeople to succeed in sales. Remember to ask for their ambitions and goals, right? Ask for them. Ask, and this is at the point of, at some point, find out how you can slot this into the interview session. You also want to know what the vision of their previous organizations were. Please, don't forget this. Make sure what's their personal vision and their goals? What the previous organization they worked in? What was the vision of that organization? This information needs to be slotted into one of your interview sessions, possibly the first one. Then check for the way they express their thoughts. How can they persuade? Ask them to tell you about the product they're selling right now. Tell them, sell me your product right now. You want to see if they're the best salespeople, you would know that these products or service they've been selling, it will be of second nature for them to communicate it. Confirm. Tell them, sell to me. Let me see how you sell. You want to watch and see how well they can communicate. See, the proof of understanding is simplicity of communication. If they've been in that organization and they are the best there, by now, when they come to meet you, they should be able to sell themselves to you with perfection. Because they've been doing the same thing again and again. They've been selling the same products again and again. So see if you're convinced enough based on how they sell, so that you will know if if they will be able to convince others with your own products or with your own service. Then, finally, step by step, confirm from them. Step by step. Now, before I even talk about the final point, let me just give you this bonus point, please. Their commitment to personal development is very key. I've seen so many salespeople who they don't do any form of reading or study or research. They don't even participate in any form of sales training. We talk about a sales training. You hardly see a salesperson pay for themselves. They are waiting for their bosses to pay for them. Ask them, when was the last time you invested in yourself? Maybe a training, a course. A lot of times you hear them say things like, I took a free course here, I took a free course there. I'm not telling you that there are no salespeople who take courses. Some salespeople pay and they come for our courses. That's true. However, look out for the ones who pay and invest in themselves. I've seen a major difference. The ones who pay to invest in themselves, the performance is like night and day. So make sure that there is some level of interest in their profession. There's some level of personal development they put in. As a salesperson, I remember when I heard that Brian Tracy was coming to Nigeria. I couldn't afford, many years ago, it was 50K then. Not 50K today, 50K then. That was a lot of money. That was when people were earning the whole month. Do you know I had to borrow that money? I couldn't even afford to pay. I had to borrow that money. I said, go, bro, please can I get 50K from you? I'll pay you at the end of the month. I borrowed that money so that I could go and attend that Brian Tracy's program. And I attended that course, and it changed me forever. So my point is that you need salespeople who are committed and have some level of interest in their personal development. Then finally, find out if they can sell. Simple question. Walk me through step by step how you close your last deal. I want to hear from you. How, man? I've seen, when we asked this question, I've heard some funny things. I remember one guy, the guy said, I closed the deal from a guy who, we asked this question, and the man said, was in oil and gas. Okay, was in oil and gas. So walk me through which of the oil and gas companies? It says ExxonMobil. Okay, fantastic. So how did he go? He was reluctant to talk. So we had to now start asking detailed questions. Okay, so what's the entrance of ExxonMobil like? Now, because I had clients in ExxonMobil, and I had gone there for prospecting or to follow up, I said, so what's the entrance like? When he described it to me, I knew that this guy had never been there before. I knew he had never been there before. So engage. How did you close your last deal? How did you find the prospects? Okay. So when you met him, what did you say? All right. So how long did it take you? When you want to watch the process and see how he closed, you want to check how did you even get the lead? Was it someone that gave it to you? Was it someone that referred you? Or was it a lead you were able to dig out yourself to be able to close? You're looking out for those things. If you're in a company where you have a lot of leads and the challenge is that you're not able to convert, and it tells you got a lead and he converted, fine. But if you're in a company where you don't even have leads, you're getting salespeople who will dig out these leads for themselves. And the person is telling you that all the people he has been closing, he has been getting them via leads from the company. You know that you will have issues when it comes to your company. So make sure you check and see if he can sell. What emotions do you feel? Now, as the recruiter, and I say this with all honesty, if you don't know how to sell properly, it will be difficult for you to be able to tell whether somebody else can sell. And that's why, as a recruiter, to an extent, or as the owner of the business, or as a sales manager, to an extent, you want to make sure that you understand the basics of selling. And some of the basics of selling are these. Make sure you ask questions. Selling is not telling. Marketing is telling. Selling is asking questions. So you want to see, do they use questions to engage, to identify needs? Do they qualify? Do they follow a sales process? A sales process, I can't walk you through a sales process now, but you want to check if they qualify, do they follow a sales process? Because that will give you a direction and help you know how well they can be able to sell. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Remember, if you need the sales skills audit, please you can ask me in the comment below. I need the sales skill audit for me when I'm doing my recruitment, so that I can send it to you. You can use that to be able to test for the competence of your sales people. If you also need our sales hiring checklist, well, maybe that's for another day. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you for coming on the call. Please remember to like this video. Remember to share this video with somebody who is trying to hire the best salespeople. In our next video, maybe not the immediate next video, but I'm going to do a video soon on how to pay salespeople so that you can be able to know how to set up salaries and commissions perfectly so that it will be rewarding enough for your salespeople to want to stay and work with you. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Talk to you soon.